Yo, what is up, my friends? It's your boy Steve from Straight Fire Picks. We're back with your best bets for the NBA here for you today on Friday, October 31st, 2025, Halloween. We got your best bets video for today. We're going to have player props, spreads, totals, predictions as always. 3 picks in the video. Let's lock in and get this sweep here today.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that Cavaliers now. Straight fire.
As always, my friends, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support here at the channel. Let's have a spooky Friday or something like that. It is Halloween, guys. Happy Halloween. Let's make some money here and fill those candy baskets up with loot instead of candy. What do you guys think? I think that's a solid idea. Had a great day at the channel yesterday, guys. We swept the NFL 3-0. Up over 3 units in the NFL. And then in the NBA, doing a recap from the NBA, we ended up going 3-1 plus 1.79 units. So a very solid day there as well. Our only miss of the entire day across both sports was the Charlotte Hornets plus 3.5 spread. They started making a run in the second half. They got the lead down to 4. And I was thinking, man, we're looking decent here. They're making this second half run, and then they just completely faded into the fourth quarter, which obviously was unfortunate. Really thought we had a good chance there to cash them. If we did, we would have been really singing from the treetops. But in either case, it was still a great day for us. We cashed all of our player props. Jimmy Butler, over 29.5 PRAs, finishes with 37. Alex Sarr, under 25.5 PRAs. He finishes with 24, but he should have finished with like 16 or 17. He hit 3 threes right at the end of the game, which I was starting to get really scared. But he did end up cashing, so it didn't really end up mattering there. And then we cashed our other player prop as well. Stephen Castle, over 5.5 assists. That cashes pretty easily as well. He finishes with 8. So love to see it, guys. Felt pretty good about the calls yesterday. Hopefully we can keep making money here today. Comment Cappers crushed it yesterday. We had so many call-outs that hit. Magic Man calling Jarvis over 2.5 shots on goal in the NHL. That cashes. Gotta get the bag. Legend at the channel as well. Calling LaMelo Ball over 14.5 rebounds and assists. 451 calling Brandon Podziemski 5+ rebounds. Josh Clemente calling Paul George over 3.5. Not Paul George. Keyshawn George over 3.5 assists. Crusader calling Jonathan Kuminga over 22.5 points and rebounds. And then Justin McKelvey calling a LaMelo Ball double-double for plus value. That cashes as well. So, like I said, great call from our comic cappers, guys. We love to see that. You guys did absolutely phenomenal. Don't forget to participate in that program. Drop your favorite pick down below. Put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and if your pick hits down in the chat, we'll include your pick in our next video if it hits. A great way to participate here at the channel. All right, without further ado, one other thing. If we did make you guys some money last night, and you guys are interested in becoming a channel member, a Straight Fire MVP, sign up down below. The cost is just $3.99 to get access to all of our picks and our plays early. You obviously don't have to do that, but it's a great way to support us here at the channel. And also to get access to the plays early, first thing in the morning, if you guys are interested in that. And outside of that, guys, let's get after it. Get a sweep in the NBA. What do you say? Let's get right into our picks at number 1. We're going Jalen Brunson. Under 2.5 threes here for the New York Knicks. We got -108 odds here on FanDuel. Really like this spot for Brunson to go under today on the road. He's under in 2 of 4 games so far this season, coming off a game where he went under there versus the Bucks. Honestly, I was not too surprised by that. The Bucks' perimeter defense was pretty decent there now with Ryan Rollins and Gary Trent Jr. They have good defenders now on the perimeter that can certainly chase guys off the three-point line. The Bulls are very similar. They actually rank first in threes allowed to point guards, especially this season. If you look at the game logs for point guards, not a point guard a starting point guard hasn't even hit 2 threes versus the Bulls, let alone 3. Game logs so far versus the Bulls for point guards: Cade Cunningham 1, Trae Young 1, Dennis Schroeder 1, Anthony Black 1. So we'll take Brunson for 1-3. But for real though, guys, nobody's even hit 2 versus them yet. They're great at chasing guys obviously off the 3-point line. They're not so good after that, as far as they do allow breakdowns at times. So the place for Brunson to attack is going to be more in the mid-range and the paint rather than the 3-point line. because they will chase you off that 3-point line, which obviously we'd love to see that. And last year, Brunson, went under on the road. He was under in 23 out of 40 games on the road, which I like seeing that. He was under in 2 or 3 games versus the Chicago Bulls last year, so I also like seeing that as well. Like I said, Bulls rank first right now in threes allowed to point guard, so I love seeing that. They're really, so far, like I said, they've been really good at chasing those guys off the 3-point line. I think they can continue to do so here with Brunson. Brunson's a guy that doesn't have to shoot threes, by the way. Brunson's the type of guy that could just attack you from the mid-range and the paint all game long if he wants to. Not that he won't shoot the three. Obviously, he will, but that is not his primary thing. And this is a pretty big line for a guy that's not, his thing. Obviously, he shoots a lot, no doubt. He'll probably score 30, 40 points. But he doesn't have to do so via the 3-point line. I think he goes under today. So, love it there, guys, for number 1 pick. We got Jalen Brunson under 2.5 threes here for the New York Knicks. We got minus 108 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 2, we're going Brandon Ingram. Over 28.5 PRAs here for the Toronto Raptors. We got minus 114 odds here on FanDuel. Risking unit here on this one. Brandon Ingram, 3 of his last 4 games to this line, which I love seeing that. The first game of the season that he missed, he only played 26 minutes. So I expect him to play 30-plus today. He's been playing 30-plus the last 4 games. So I think, once again, obviously, we'll see that minute count for him jump back up here. Spread isn't crazy here. The spread's set to 7. So the books are confident that the Raptors can at least hang around here, which is important for Ingram, obviously, to stay on the court. I think Ingram's the guy that's got to keep them in the game. This is really the best matchup on the floor. We just saw Jaylen Brown attack this matchup and go for 39 PRAs at the small forward position there for the Celtics. Ingram is that same type of guy that could operate the mid-range and down very well. So I love guys that he could shoot the 3 too. But he can also operate that mid-range really good. He's one of the better mid-range players that we have as far as shooting. And I love that. When you're going up against guys like Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, you don't want to get right into the paint against those guys. You get your shot blocked. So obviously, Ingram being able to operate that mid-range, I think is going to be very good. He's a tall player. He's a great mid-range scorer. So I think that's what I'm looking for him to do here today. Here versus the Cavs. He's 3 for his last 3 versus the Cavs to this line. So it's been playing out that way, obviously. And so far, the Cavs, like I said, ranked 23rd in PRAs allowed to small forwards this season. It's kind of like that weird spot on the floor where, obviously, you could take advantage of this matchup. And I think this is going to be a great spot. Obviously, the rebounds is more advantageous for a guy like Ingram because, the bigs for the Raptors are going to be tied up with Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. That's a lot to handle. So then I think, Ingram's obviously matchup there will allow him to also get rebounds as well. So I think this is a great spot for Brandon Ingram. I think he goes over. I think his usage should be pretty high here. Like I said, I love the mid-range operator here versus the Cavs. I think he's going to be able to do some work and hopefully keep the Raptors in this one, keep this game competitive. So, love it there for number 2 pick, guys. We got Brandon Ingram over 28.5 PRAs here for the Toronto Raptors, minus 114 odds on FanDuel. Okay, and finally at number 3, we're rocking with the Portland Trail Blazers, plus 5.5 here on the spread versus the Denver Nuggets, minus 115 odds on ESPN Bet. This was my favorite spread of the day. Really stood out. The Blazers have obviously been playing well. Got a key road win at Utah, which I thought that was a great win, actually. Because we took Utah on the spread, which they did cover. I more came out of that thinking, well, I was thankful for that. But the Blazers outplayed the Jazz for most of the night. And really, they've played pretty well most of the entire season. Versus the Timberwolves, Clippers. They've played very well this season. And what's really stood out with Portland has been their defense. They rank 6th in defensive rating so far on the season, which is obviously fantastic. And I think here, once again, I think they could be tough and keep this game close here with Denver. I'm not saying Denver doesn't win, but 5.5 is a nice point mark for us to take and to have here down the stretch. I think the Blazers are going to have a shot to win this game. They won both games up in Portland versus Denver last year, so that's definitely something good. They got a very nice young nucleus of players that can get it done, that are tough. Drew Holiday has certainly brought toughness to this team. Love the way they're performing. Even offensively, they're 10th in offensive rating. And obviously, we know the Nuggets are tough. The 3rd in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating. They do have a couple guys on the injury report, though. Jamal Murray and Cam Johnson both on the injury report. So there's a chance those guys don't play. If that were to happen, that obviously helps us there, especially with Jamal Murray. But like I said, all things being equal, I'll ride with the home team here, right? Blazers playing at home. They play great at home. And they're up against a good competition here in the Nuggets. But I think they can hang in here. Keep this game competitive down the stretch and have a shot to win. Obviously, like I said, in Portland, it's just a different story than if they were out on the road. But like I said, they play great defense. The stuff that happened with Chauncey Billups hasn't seemed to affect them. They've still been playing great every night in and night out. So, you know, I look for them to keep doing that. Maybe they're playing for Chauncey. You know what I mean? So, obviously, I like what I see, though, from them. I kind of wanted to wait before I bet on them through that whole thing. But like I said, they're handling it pretty well. They got a couple professionals on that team. Obviously, Drew Holiday is nothing but a professional. And he plays tough, and he really brings the grit to this team. So, love it there, guys, for number 3 pick. We're going with the Portland Trail Blazers plus 5.5 spread here versus the Denver Nuggets minus 115 odds on ESPN Bet. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. I don't have a for the sweep parlay today. To be honest, this wasn't my favorite slate ever. I found 3 plays that I love, but for me, that's not usually enough to do it for the sweep parlay. I usually like to have 4. So just rocking with the 3 picks today. Hopefully we get a sweep, though. Move on to the next day, and we'll have some better games there on Saturday. Like I said, just, I believe, 6 games on the slate tonight, and some of them weren't games I really wanted to bet. So, but anyway, I do like the plays that we do have. Let's lock in and get the sweep. Make sure you guys check out all of our other content here at the channel. We'll be looking to run potentially our ladder challenge today. If I put one out for today, it'll be later, closer to noon. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I want to make sure I find stuff I like, though. So if we can find some stuff I like tonight, we'll run day 2 of our ladder challenge. We cashed day 1 yesterday. We'll be in the Ember stage today, I believe. So appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out.